In this video, we are going to discuss the ideal gases and real gases. An ideal gas is one which obeys all the gas laws at all pressures and temperatures. However, there is no any gas at normal condition which is ideal. This ideal gas is a hypothetical concept. Almost all the gases shows significant deviation from the ideal behavior, and these gases are called as real gases or non-ideal gases. So this ideal gas concept is hypothetical, and real gases always they deviate from the ideal gas behavior. And I told you what is the meaning of, or what is the concept of ideal gas. The gas which obeys all the gas laws like Boyle's law, Charles law, ideal gas equation. It is ideal gas at all temperatures and pressures. But real gases like the hydrogen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, ammonia, these are the real gases. These are not obeying gas laws at all the temperatures and pressures. These are the real gases, and these are also called as non-ideal gases. Actually, these real gases they deviate from ideal gas behavior. Okay, so real or non-ideal gas deviates from ideal gas behavior, and it obeys ideal gas laws at very low pressure and at very high temperature. So most important thing is real gas obeys ideal gas equation or the gas laws at very low pressure or at very high temperature. So in general, most easily liquefiable and highly water soluble gases such as carbon dioxide, ammonia, sulfur dioxide, these gases shows larger deviation from ideal gas behavior, whereas the gases such as hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, etc., which are more difficult to liquefy or these are less soluble in water, these gases shows less deviation from the ideal gas behavior. So most important thing is the water soluble gases or highly soluble gases, these gases shows more deviation from ideal gas behavior or larger deviation from ideal gas behavior, whereas less soluble gases shows less deviation from ideal gas behavior. Now the deviation from ideal gas behavior, deviation of real gas from ideal gas behavior, it is expressed in terms of compressibility factor, that is Z. And this compressibility factor, it is equal to, Z is equal to PV upon nRT. You know, ideal gas equation is PV is equal to nRT, and when we take ratio of PV and nRT, then that ratio it is nothing but compressibility factor. So Z is equal to PV upon nRT. You know, P is a pressure, V is volume, N is number of moles, R is gas constant, universal gas constant, and T is absolute temperature. Now important thing is for ideal gas, as I said, PV is equal to nRT, and therefore this ratio it will be 1. So Z is equal to 1. For ideal gas, compressibility factor it is equal to 1. If Z is less than 1 or greater than 1, then we can say the gas is non-ideal or real. So for non-ideal or real gases, Z is not equal to 1. It may be less than 1 or greater than 1. Based on this fact, if Z is less than 1, then gas is more compressible, easily liquefiable. Whereas if Z is greater than 1, then gas is less compressible difficult to liquefy, and in both the condition there is a deviation of real gas from ideal gas behavior. Okay, so this is what is compressibility factor in terms of ideal gas equation, ratio of PV upon nRT. It is the compressibility factor. Now the compressibility factor, it is also expressed in terms of volume occupied by ideal gas at a given temperature and pressure, and volume occupied by real gas at same temperature and pressure. So at a given temperature and pressure, the compressibility factor Z is given by ratio of actual volume occupied by, or compressibility factor, it is given by ratio of, this is the ratio of actual volume occupied by real gas to the volume occupied by 1 mole of ideal gas, provided temperature and pressure are same. So Z is equal to V real gas upon V ideal gas. So volume occupied by real gas at a certain temperature and pressure upon volume occupied by ideal gas under same conditions of temperature and pressure. So this ratio, it is the compressibility factor in terms of volume of ideal and real gas. The next point is deviation of real gas from ideal gas laws. So first of all, deviation from Boyle's law. So according to Boyle's law, PV is equal to K, that is product of pressure and volume remains constant. So according to Boyle's law, at a constant temperature, volume of a given mass of a gas is inversely proportional to pressure on the gas, and therefore P product of pressure and volume, it remains constant. It is a constant, and therefore when we plot a graph of PV versus P, product of pressure and volume at different pressures, then for ideal gas this product of pressure and volume remains constant for various pressures. So as pressure increases, volume decreases, so that the product of pressure and volume remains constant, and therefore this is the straight line parallel to x-axis, and this is for ideal gas. So product of pressure and volume remains constant as the pressure increases, and this is true for ideal gas only. Okay, so the graph of PV against P, it is a straight line and parallel to x-axis for ideal gas. Okay, this is not true for real gases. Now consider the real gas, that is nitrogen. So for nitrogen, at very low pressure, product of pressure and volume, it is same as that of ideal gas, but as pressure increases, the product of pressure and volume decreases to certain minimum value, and beyond a certain higher pressure, again when pressure is increased, then the product of pressure and volume also increases, like this. And this is the curve for nitrogen. Remember, for nitrogen Z is less than 1. Z is less than 1, and as it is less than 1, this is more compressible. Now consider another real gas, that is methane. For methane, again at low pressure, product of pressure and volume, it is same as that of ideal gas. So methane behaves ideally at very low pressure. As pressure increases, the product of pressure and volume deviates from ideal behavior and it has some minimum value of product of pressure and volume, and beyond certain higher pressure again product of pressure and volume increases. In this way methane also deviates from ideal gas behavior. Now consider third gas, that is hydrogen. Again for methane also the compressibility factor Z it is less than 1. For nitrogen compressibility factor Z it is less than 1. For methane also Z is less than 1. For hydrogen at low pressure again product of pressure and volume it is very close or as good as equal to the product of pressure and volume of ideal gas. So it behaves ideally at very low pressure, but as the pressure increases the product of pressure and volume linearly increases. There is a straight line. Okay, and for hydrogen compressibility factor Z it is greater than 1. Consider helium. For helium at low pressure product of pressure and volume it is close to ideal gas, it behaves ideally, and as pressure increases linearly PV increases and there is a straight line. For helium also compressibility factor Z it is greater than 1. So among these four gases helium deviate less to the less extent from ideal gas behavior. Okay, because this line straight line it is close to the straight line of ideal gases. So in case of nitrogen and methane, first product of pressure and volume decreases with increase in pressure and then increases with increase in pressure. However, in case of hydrogen and helium there is a continuous increase in product of pressure and volume values with increase in pressure. So this is the difference between the gases which are less compressible and more compressible. Okay, and based on the value of Z there is a larger or smaller deviation from ideal gas. Now what is the effect of temperature on deviation from ideal gas behavior? Again you consider the product of pressure and volume. This is the line, straight line for ideal gas. Ideal gas product of pressure and volume remains constant for different pressures. Now at low temperature there is a larger deviation from ideal gas behavior. That is, for example, at 200 Kelvin there is a substantial deviation from ideal gas behavior. Consider 300 Kelvin. So as temperature increases the depth of curve decreases and the deviation will be less. Okay, this curve it will be close to the line of ideal gases. So at 300 Kelvin there is a less deviation. Again when temperature is increased, that is 400 Kelvin, the depth in curve it is again less. Suppose at certain higher temperature the straight line is obtained and this line is very close to ideal gas. Okay, so as temperature is increased, dip in curve becomes smaller and smaller and PV value is close to ideal behavior. At certain higher temperature the curve appears almost horizontal and Boyle's law is obeyed. This temperature it is called as Boyle's temperature. Okay, and above and below Boyle's temperature gas deviates from ideal behavior. Okay, so this is about the effect of temperature on deviation from ideal behavior.